The giant alien ship appeared in Earth's orbit on a Tuesday morning. It came without warning, causing panic across the world. Fighter jets scrambled. Nuclear weapons were put on alert. For 6 hours, the ship just sat there, silent. Then the message came. We are the Galactic Confederation. We come in peace. 3 days later, Commander Jack Walsh stood in a conference room at United Nations headquarters in New York. Representatives from every major nation crowded around the table, all eyes on the holographic alien figure floating above them. The alien called itself Salthrak. It looked like a tall, thin praying mantis with blue skin and 4 arms. Its voice came out flat and metallic through the translator. The Confederation has watched your species for many cycles, Salthrak said. You have reached the technological threshold for first contact. We offer you membership in our alliance of 217 species. The room erupted in excited whispers. Jack remained quiet, studying the alien's body language. Something felt off. However, Salthrak continued, all new species must pass a simple test of worthiness. The room fell silent again. We will provide you with one of our decommissioned vessels. You have 1 Earth year to make it space-worthy according to Confederation standards. Succeed, and you join us as equals. Fail, and you remain quarantined in your solar system for another century. Images appeared in the air showing a massive starship. It was long and gray with odd angles, and what looked like damage along its hull. This is the Resilience Asterisk. It awaits you in high orbit. Jack frowned. The ship looked like junk. 1 week later, Jack floated through the docking tube connecting the Earth shuttle to the alien vessel. Chief Engineer Olivia Martinez drifted beside him. They both wore bulky spacesuits, just in case. I don't like this, Olivia said over the radio. Why give us their garbage and call it a test? Jack nodded. Be careful. Check everything twice. They reached the airlock at the end of the tube. It took 3 tries to get the alien mechanism to work. Finally, the door slid open with a hiss of stale air. The lights flickered on automatically, revealing a corridor with peeling metal walls and exposed wiring. The air smelled like burnt plastic. Some gift, Jack muttered, checking his radiation meter. The reading was higher than he liked, but still safe. They moved deeper into the ship, documenting everything with their helmet cameras. Most systems appeared to be offline. Water leaked from cracked pipes. Some hallways were completely dark. In one room, they found alien writing scratched frantically on a wall. This isn't just an old ship, Olivia said, examining a damaged control panel. This thing is falling apart. Jack's radio crackled. Commander Walsh, please report to the main bridge. They followed the directions provided by the shuttle team and eventually found the bridge, a large circular room with dead screens and broken chairs. Salthrak waited for them as a hologram, standing tall with its 4 arms clasped. Your species has 1 Earth year, the alien said, not bothering with greetings. The ship must achieve full flight capability and pass our inspection. This vessel is severely damaged, Jack said. There are radiation leaks, structural issues. Those are your problems to solve, human, Salthrak interrupted. Perhaps we overestimated your species' abilities. Jack noticed something in the alien's voice, amusement, contempt. We'll handle it, he said firmly. Excellent. We will check your progress periodically. Salthrak's hologram flickered. One final note, altering the fundamental systems or weapons capability will result in immediate failure. After the alien disappeared, Jack turned to Olivia. They set us up to fail. This ship is beyond repair. Olivia walked slowly around the bridge, running her gloved hand over the alien technology. Maybe. Or maybe they don't understand what humans can do with junk. Jack smiled slightly. Gather the team. We need to assess every inch of this ship. As they left the bridge, neither noticed the small blinking light under the main console. Watching, recording, waiting. 2 weeks after discovering the Resilience Asterisk, Earth's governments had sent their best people to work on the ship. Engineers, scientists, and military experts from around the world lived in hastily built modules attached to the alien vessel. The mood was grim as they discovered just how bad the ship's condition really was. Olivia Martinez stood in what the team now called the engine room, staring at the massive cylinder that took up most of the space. According to the limited manuals they had translated, this was the main power core. It looked dead. "Try it again, Sam," she called out. Sam Nichols, a skinny man with wild red hair and a permanent 5 o'clock shadow, tapped on his tablet. The core hummed briefly, then went silent. "Nothing," Sam said, frowning. "It's like something is blocking the startup sequence." Olivia wiped sweat from her forehead. The ship's temperature controls barely worked. Some sections were freezing while others, like the engine room, were uncomfortably hot. "Let me see those readings again," she said, moving to Sam's side. Sam had been a nuclear engineer before joining the project. He looked at machines the way other people looked at puzzles, with excitement and determination. "Look at this pattern," he said, pointing to a wave graph on his screen. "It's too regular to be random system failure." Olivia studied the graph. "You think someone did this on purpose?" "I think," Sam said slowly, "this engine isn't broken. It's sabotage." 3 decks above them, Jack Walsh led a group of alien observers through the ship's main corridor. The 4 Confederation representatives glided more than walked, their thin blue limbs barely touching the floor. "As you can see," Jack said, keeping his voice professional, "we've stabilized the life support systems in this section and begun repairs on the structural damage." The lead alien, not Salthrak, but another official named Vendrell, made a clicking sound. "Your progress seems minimal." Jack forced a smile. "We've only had the ship for 2 weeks. We're still learning its systems." "Indeed," Vendrell said, its large compound eyes reflecting Jack's face back at him. "Perhaps your species lacks the necessary intelligence for such complex technology." Jack bit back a sharp reply. "We'll meet your deadline." After the inspection ended and the aliens returned to their shuttle, Jack headed straight to the makeshift command center. Ellie Dawson, their computer expert, sat surrounded by screens showing code. "Please tell me you have good news," Jack said. Ellie didn't look up. Her fingers flew over the keyboard as lines of alien symbols scrolled past. "Define good. Anything that doesn't make me want to punch our blue friends." Now Ellie looked up, her brown eyes serious. "I found something in the ship's computer system. Hidden protocols that don't appear in any of the manuals." She turned one screen toward Jack. "These are backdoors. They would let someone control the ship remotely, override our commands, even shut down life support." Jack stared at the screen. "Can you block them?" "Already working on it," Ellie said. "But there's something else you should see." She pulled up another screen showing the ship's schematics. "The aliens gave us access to about 60% of the ship, but according to these readings, there are whole sections they never mentioned." Jack studied the diagram. "Hidden compartments." "More like hidden decks," Ellie said. "And they're using power, even though they're supposed to be shut down." Back in the engine room, Sam had opened a panel he wasn't supposed to touch. Inside, he found a small black box connected to the main power lines. It wasn't on any schematic. "Olivia," he called. "I think I found our problem." She hurried over and peered inside. "What is that?" Sam carefully traced the connections without touching them. "It's some kind of limiter. It's forcing the power core to fail by disrupting the flow patterns." "Can we remove it?" Sam grinned. "We can do better than that. We can learn from it." An hour later, Jack gathered his core team in a small room they had swept for listening devices. Olivia and Sam showed what they had found. "They never expected us to succeed," Jack said, looking at each face around him. "This whole test is rigged." "So what do we do?" Ellie asked. "Give up." Jack shook his head. "No, we do what humans have always done." He smiled grimly. "We adapt, we overcome, and we surprised the hell out of them. 1 month into the project, the humans had made a decision. They would work on 2 tracks. The official work would be visible to the alien inspectors. The secret work would happen in shifts, using hidden paths through the ship that Ellie had discovered in the old schematics. Caleb Reeves, a young engineer with a talent for fixing things, led a small team exploring the restricted areas of the ship. They moved through narrow maintenance tunnels, using handheld lights to find their way. According to the map, there should be a large space up ahead, Caleb said, checking his tablet. The air was stale and cold in these unused sections. His team member, Paul Garcia, pointed ahead. There's a door. The door looked different from others on the ship. It was darker, with no obvious control panel. Strange symbols were carved into its surface. I don't think we should open that, said Linda Moss, the team's safety expert. Caleb studied the door. We need to know what's in there. It could help us understand the ship better. He ran his scanner over the symbols. The device translated them roughly as danger and restricted. Even more reason to look, Caleb said with a grin. He liked solving problems others couldn't. It took them 3 days to figure out how to open the door. When it finally slid open, they found a large room filled with equipment unlike anything else on the ship. At the center stood a device about the size of a car. It had a glowing core that pulsed with a faint purple light, even though it seemed to be powered down. What is it? Linda asked, keeping her distance. Caleb shook his head. No idea. But I'm betting the aliens didn't want us to find it. Back in the main section of the ship, progress was slow but steady. Jack made sure the alien inspectors saw people working hard on repairs. Meanwhile, Sam and Olivia studied the sabotage devices they had found, learning how the alien technology worked. It's not that their tech is more advanced, Sam explained during a private meeting with the leadership team. It's just different. They think in patterns we don't. And that gives us an advantage, Olivia added. We're finding solutions they wouldn't expect. Dr. Maya Phillips joined the meeting late. She was a biologist who had studied alien life forms before joining the project. Now she specialized in understanding alien technology from a biological perspective. You need to see this, she said, setting up her tablet to display images. We analyzed the device Caleb found in the restricted section. The screen showed detailed scans of the mysterious machine. Based on the energy signature and configuration, this appears to be a weapon system, but not like anything we've seen before. Jack frowned. What kind of weapon? It manipulates quantum fields, Maya explained. In theory, it could disrupt the fabric of space-time itself. The room fell silent. Why would they leave something like that on a junk ship? Ellie asked. Because it's unstable, Maya said. There are signs of containment failures. I think they tried to develop this technology, but couldn't control it. So they abandoned it. Jack thought for a moment. The Confederation told us not to add weapons to the ship. They never said anything about weapons that were already there. Can we make it work? Sam asked, eyes bright with excitement. Maya hesitated. Maybe. The principles are beyond our current physics, but what? Jack pressed. The aliens approached it from their perspective. We might see something they missed. Olivia nodded slowly. Human thinking versus alien thinking. If we can understand it, Maya continued, it could give us leverage when dealing with the Confederation. Jack looked around the table at his team. This stays completely secret. No records on the main systems, no discussions where we might be overheard. What about our orders? Linda asked. We're supposed to just fix the ship, not arm it. Our orders are to make this ship space-worthy and pass their test, Jack said firmly. But I'm not playing a rigged game. If they want to see what humans can do, we'll show them. As the meeting ended, no one noticed the small maintenance robot in the corner of the room. Its camera lens focused briefly on each face before it continued its cleaning routine, gathering information to send back to its masters. 6 months had passed since the aliens gave humans the *resilience*. The ship looked different now. Most corridors had working lights. The air systems pumped clean oxygen throughout the main decks. The engine room hummed with power as Sam and his team brought systems online one by one. On the surface, progress was good. Below the surface, something even more important was happening. Jack stood in the hidden chamber with Maya and Olivia, staring at the quantum weapon. They had moved it to a more secure location, away from regular inspection routes. The device now sat connected to a human-built control system. "Will it work?" Jack asked. Maya adjusted something on her tablet. "In theory, yes. We've stabilized the quantum field using our own algorithms. The aliens never tried our approach. Because they don't think like us," Olivia added. "They follow specific scientific traditions. We're willing to try crazy ideas." Jack nodded. "How powerful is it?" "At minimum settings, it could disable electronic systems on ships within a small radius," Maya explained. "At maximum?" She hesitated. "We don't know exactly. The simulations suggest it could tear a hole in space-time." "Let's stick to minimum settings," Jack said firmly. The ship-wide alarm cut through their conversation. Red lights flashed in the corridor outside. "Attention all personnel." Ellie's voice came over the speakers. "Multiple Confederation vessels have entered Earth orbit. They are requesting immediate docking with the Resilience *. This is not a scheduled inspection. Repeat, this is not scheduled." Jack's radio crackled. "Commander, this is Eric Foster in security. You need to get to the main airlock now." 20 minutes later, Jack stood facing a group of 8 armed aliens. They weren't the usual inspectors. These wore metallic armor and carried what looked like weapons. "What's going on?" Jack demanded. "We have 6 more months before the deadline." The lead alien, taller than the others with dark blue skin, stepped forward. "I am Security Commander Zixvoon. We have received information that humans are violating the terms of the agreement." "What information?" Jack kept his voice steady. "A reliable source indicates you are attempting to weaponize this vessel." Zixvoon's large eyes didn't blink. "We will conduct a full inspection immediately." Before Jack could respond, the alien handed him a data tablet. "These sections will be restricted to human access effective immediately. Any human found in these areas will be removed from the project." Jack looked at the map on the screen. The aliens had marked nearly half the ship as restricted, including many areas essential to their work. "This makes completing the project impossible," Jack argued. "That is not our concern," Zixvoon replied coldly. "You have betrayed the trust of the Confederation. Consider yourselves fortunate that the project continues at all." After the aliens spread out to begin their inspection, Jack hurried to the security office. Eric Foster, a former military man with a scar across his right cheek, waited with Ellie. "We have a spy," Eric said without preamble. "Someone has been sending data to the Confederation." He brought up a screen showing transmission logs. "These signals have been going out for weeks. They contain detailed information about our progress, including the restricted areas." "Can you tell who sent them?" Jack asked. Eric shook his head. "Not yet, but the transmissions came from inside the ship." Ellie looked grim. "There's more. I intercepted a message from Confederation Command. They never intended to let us pass this test." She showed them the decoded message. "Once human failure is confirmed, proceed with quarantine protocol. The species shows dangerous levels of adaptability and must be contained." Jack stared at the words. "They're afraid of us." "They should be," Eric said grimly. Later that night, Jack gathered his core team in a secure room they had built inside an old storage compartment. The space was completely shielded from detection. "The game has changed," Jack told them. "The Confederation is moving against us early because they're scared of what we might accomplish." "What do we do?" Caleb asked. "They've taken control of critical areas." Jack's expression hardened. "We finish what we started. We have access tunnels they don't know about. We have technology they don't expect." And now he paused. We have nothing to lose. Olivia looked around at the determined faces. They gave us a junk ship thinking we would fail. Instead, we'll give them something they never imagined humans could build. 2 weeks after the Confederation took control of half the ship, the humans had adapted. They moved through hidden passages, worked in shifts to avoid detection, and kept their real progress secret from the alien guards. Lisa Winters sat alone in a small lab they had built in an unused storage room. Around her, screens displayed complex equations and simulations. Lisa was a quantum physicist with a gift for seeing patterns others missed. For days, she had been working on the weapon problem. The door slid open. Olivia entered carrying 2 cups of coffee. "Thought you could use this," Olivia said, handing one to Lisa. "Any progress?" Lisa took the cup gratefully. She looked tired, but her eyes were bright with excitement. "I think I've got it," she said. "The aliens couldn't stabilize the weapon because they approached quantum fields as fixed patterns. Their whole science is based on the idea that rules never change." "And ours isn't?" Olivia asked. Lisa smiled. "Human physics develop differently. We understand that observers affect results. We're comfortable with uncertainty." She pulled up a new simulation on the main screen. "Look what happens when we apply quantum uncertainty principles to the weapon's containment field." The simulation showed energy flows stabilizing instead of breaking down. "You fixed it," Olivia whispered. "In theory," Lisa cautioned. "We still need to test it on the actual device." Olivia's radio crackled. "Engineering team, report to Section 14 immediately. We have a problem with life support." In Section 14, Jack and Sam stared at the damaged oxygen recyclers. The main units had failed simultaneously, and the backups weren't responding. "This wasn't an accident," Sam said, examining the burnt control circuits. "Someone did this on purpose." Jack's face was grim. "How long until we run out of air?" "With what's still working and our emergency supplies, 3 weeks, maybe 4. Caleb pushed through the crowd of engineers who had gathered. "Commander, we have another problem. The aliens are restricting our access to repair parts. They say we need to file requests that could take weeks to process." Jack looked around at his team. "They're forcing our hand." That night, Jack called an emergency meeting of all section leaders. Over 60 people crowded into the largest secure area they had. "I won't sugarcoat this," Jack began. "The Confederation is actively trying to make us fail. The oxygen system sabotage was just their latest move. We have less than a month of breathable air." Murmurs spread through the crowd. "We have 3 options," Jack continued. 1. We can beg the Confederation for help and accept whatever terms they impose, which means giving up Earth's independence, Olivia added. 2. Jack said, we can evacuate the ship and admit failure. That leaves Earth quarantined and vulnerable, Eric pointed out. Or 3, Jack looked around the room. We finish what we started and take control of our own fate. You're talking about fighting the Confederation? Someone asked. I'm talking about showing them that humans aren't easily pushed around, Jack replied. Lisa has stabilized the quantum weapon system. Sam and Olivia have the engines at 70% capacity. With or without alien approval, we can make this ship fly. And if they try to stop us? Linda asked. Then they'll learn what happens when you back humans into a corner, Jack said simply. The room fell silent as people considered what he was suggesting. Finally, Sam spoke up. I didn't sign up for a war. None of us did, Jack agreed. But we didn't ask to be given a rigged test either. The Confederation fears human potential. Maybe it's time they learned whether that fear is justified. One by one, the section leaders voiced their support. By meeting's end, they had a plan. They would integrate the quantum weapon into the ship's systems, disguising it as part of the new propulsion design. They would complete the minimum repairs needed for spaceflight, and when the oxygen levels became critical, they would make their move. As the meeting broke up, Jack pulled Lisa aside. How sure are you about the weapon's stability? Lisa didn't hesitate. The math works. The simulations are solid. But we haven't tested it, Jack pressed. No, Lisa admitted. But I believe in human science. Sometimes you have to take a leap of faith. Jack nodded slowly. Let's hope the Confederation isn't ready for our kind of physics. 3 weeks passed. The air on the Resilience grew thinner each day. Humans worked in shifts, wearing oxygen masks when they could. The alien guards watched with cold indifference as the humans struggled to breathe. Jack met with his team in the hidden command center they had built. Their faces looked tired, but determined. Status reports, Jack said. Sam went first. Engines are ready. We've connected the main power to the backup systems. When we flip the switch, we'll have full control. Olivia nodded. Navigation is set. We've created a new system that bypasses the Confederation overrides. The quantum device is integrated with the power grid, Lisa added. It's disguised as a secondary propulsion system, just like we planned. Ellie smiled for the first time in days. I've locked the aliens out of our computer systems. They think they're still in control, but they're looking at fake data. Security. Jack turned to Eric. We've mapped the positions of all alien guards, Eric reported. We know their shift changes and patrol routes. Best time to move is 300 hours when they rotate personnel. Jack looked around at his team. Tomorrow then, oxygen levels will be critical by the end of the week. We can't wait any longer. They spent the rest of the day making final preparations. Each human on board had a specific job. Some would create distractions. Others would secure key sections of the ship. The core team would take the bridge and engineering. At exactly 300 hours the next morning, Jack gave the signal. Throughout the ship, humans moved into position. In the engineering section, Sam initiated the power transfer, bypassing the alien controls. Lights flickered across the Resilience as systems switched to human command. On the bridge, Olivia and Ellie worked quickly to activate their modified control systems. Alarms began to sound as the ship's computer detected unauthorized changes. They know something's happening. Ellie warned as her screen showed alien security forces moving. Jack's voice came over the secure radio channel. All teams, execute now. This is not a drill. Throughout the ship, humans sprang into action. They sealed doors to trap alien guards in certain sections. They activated decoy alarms to draw others away from critical areas. Eric's security team moved to secure the main airlock where more Confederation forces might try to board. Jack made his way to the bridge with Lisa and Caleb. They encountered 2 alien guards who raised their weapons. Stop immediately, one guard ordered. Instead of stopping, Caleb activated a device they had prepared. A high-pitched sound filled the corridor. The aliens dropped their weapons and covered what passed for their ears. The humans, wearing special earplugs, moved past them. When Jack reached the bridge, Olivia had already taken control of navigation. Status, he asked. We have control of all major systems, she reported. The aliens are locked out. Confederation ships are responding, Ellie warned, pointing to her screen where 3 alien vessels were moving toward them. They're hailing us. Ignore them, Jack ordered. Sam, are we ready for engine start? Ready, Commander. Sam's voice came over the comm. But the docking clamps are still attached. We're locked to the station. Jack turned to Lisa. Time to see if your theory works. Power up the quantum device, minimum setting, targeted at the docking mechanism. Lisa's hands moved across her control panel. The ship hummed as energy flowed to the hidden weapon. Ready, she said. Field is stable. Fire, Jack ordered. A pulse of energy, invisible to the naked eye, shot from the Resilience toward the docking clamps. For a moment, nothing happened. Then the metal of the clamps seemed to ripple, as if suddenly made of liquid. The molecular bonds weakened, and the massive clamps simply fell apart. It worked, Caleb shouted. Full power to engines, Jack commanded. Get us out of orbit. The asterisk resilience asterisk shuddered as its engines fired for the first time in centuries. Slowly at first, then with increasing speed, the enormous ship pulled away from Earth's orbit. Confederation vessels are pursuing, Ellie reported. They're charging weapons. Evasive maneuvers, Jack ordered. Head for the edge of the solar system. On the main screen, warning shots from the alien ships flashed past them. They're ordering us to stop, or they'll open fire, Ellie said. Jack looked around at his crew, all watching him for the next move. Lisa, prepare the quantum device for defensive use. If they corner us, we'll show them what humans can do with their junk ship. The asterisk resilience asterisk raced through space, with 3 Confederation warships in close pursuit. Inside the ship, humans worked frantically at their stations as alarms blared. They're gaining on us, Ellie reported from her console. Our engines can't match their speed. Jack looked at the tactical display. They had made it past Mars, but the alien ships were closing the gap. At this rate, they would be caught before they reached the asteroid belt. More ships incoming, Eric called out. 6 vessels just appeared near Neptune's orbit. Jack's face hardened. They're boxing us in. The main screen flickered, showing the face of Xalthrak. The alien's expression was impossible to read, but its voice carried unmistakable anger. This act of theft will not be tolerated, it said. Power down your engines and prepare to be boarded. This is your only warning. Jack signaled Ellie to mute the transmission. He turned to Lisa. How confident are you in the weapon system? He asked. Lisa took a deep breath. The small-scale test worked perfectly, but a larger demonstration. She hesitated. I can't guarantee what will happen. We need options, Jack said to the bridge crew. Olivia moved to his side. We could surrender, she said quietly. Try to negotiate. After they sabotaged our air supply. Sam shook his head. They've shown what they think of humans. Jack made his decision. Lisa, target one of Neptune's smaller moons. Set the quantum device to 20% power. Let's show them what we can do. Lisa's fingers moved over her controls. Target locked. Device charging. Jack reopened the channel to Xalthrak. Before you take action, there's something you should see. He nodded to Lisa, who activated the weapon. From the asterisk resilience asterisk, a beam of energy shot across the solar system, striking a small moon orbiting Neptune. For a moment, nothing seemed to happen. Then, the moon's surface began to shimmer like a mirage. Its shape distorted, stretched, and then snapped back to normal. On the screen, Xalthrak's eyes widened, a rare display of emotion from the alien. Impossible, it said. That technology was deemed unstable, non-functional. Humans have a different approach to physics. Jack replied calmly. What your scientists couldn't solve, ours did. The quantum distortion device cannot be controlled, Xalthrak insisted. It will eventually collapse and destroy everything around it. Lisa moved to stand beside Jack. Not with our modifications. We stabilize the field using principles your science doesn't recognize. Jack leaned forward. Now let's discuss new terms. We want to join the Confederation, but as equals, not as servants given impossible tests. There was a long silence from the alien. Finally, Xalthrak spoke, its voice different now, less commanding, more cautious. The Confederation Council must be consulted. This development was unexpected. 3 days later, the asterisk resilience asterisk orbited Neptune while negotiations continued. Jack met with his team in the newly repaired conference room. The Council has agreed to our main terms, he announced. Earth will join the Confederation with full member status. No more tests, no more quarantine. They caved quickly, Eric observed. They're scared, Olivia said. We took their junk ship and turned it into something they never imagined, and fixed technology they thought was impossible to control, Lisa added. Sam leaned back in his chair. So what happens now? We share our approach to the quantum technology, Jack explained. In exchange, they share their advanced science with Earth. It's a fair trade. Will they trust us after this? Caleb asked. Jack smiled slightly. Trust isn't the point. Respect is. They didn't respect humans before. They do now. 1 week later, the Resilience approached Earth orbit. This time, instead of a single alien ship watching them, an honor guard of Confederation vessels escorted them home. On the bridge, Jack stood looking at the blue planet growing larger on the screen. They handed us a junk starship thinking we would fail, he said to his crew. Instead, we showed them what humans can really do. Olivia stepped up beside him. So we're not building an unstoppable weapon of mass destruction after all. Jack shook his head. We built something more powerful, a future where humans take their rightful place among the stars. As the Resilience entered Earth orbit, its shadow fell across the planet below. No longer a cast-off piece of junk, but the flagship of humanity's new beginning.